From Nutrien Ag Solutions, this is Senior Meteorologist Andrew Pritchard with your Canadian Prairie weather story for Monday, June 6th, 2022. Temperatures warmer in the east, warmer in the west, cooler in the east here as we get started. We've got a front still kind of draped right across this region. That's where we're seeing showers and storms here early on this Monday morning. We'll look at the satellite picture here and you'll kind of see it. Our pattern over the next 4 or 5 days is going to be dictated by a rather stagnant pattern across western Canada all the way into portions of central Canada. Again, dictated by a trough that continues to kind of spin down and decay across this region. And then we've got an area of higher pressure here across the Prairie provinces. And again, with that frontal boundary, it's kind of extended right back through this region. We'll look at the radar. We'll zoom in here a little bit. You can see those showers ongoing from the kind of Grand Prairie down toward Medicine Hat on into portions of northern and eastern Montana. Just scattered showers and storms, and this is going to be the theme here over the next 24 to 48 hours, and really this is going to be the organized precipitation that we've got to talk about over the next 4 to 5 days. If you look at the last 7 days of precipitation, again here, this area of low pressure across Manitoba brought some heavy rain, periods of gloomy conditions and cooler temperatures, and really continues to be cool across this region with that frontal boundary still extended back toward the west from that same storm system. It's really been stuck across the region going back to the middle part of last week. Now here's the NAM model. This will take us through Thursday afternoon. You see the showers and storms continuing across this region before they fade out here midweek, and then not really much to talk about as we get beyond that into the end of the week. So we'll go through time here. We'll step back to Monday. This gets us through midday Monday into Monday night. This is now Tuesday morning and now into midday Tuesday evening. So over the next 48 hours, very similar pattern, scattered showers, maybe a couple thunderstorms here from Grand Prairie down toward portions of the southern border of Alberta and Saskatchewan down into the northern high plains of the United States before this front starts to kind of wash out midweek. So by the time we get to Wednesday, showers really coming to an end across the region, getting into Wednesday night. And then Thursday, maybe some very isolated showers across this region here from Grand Prairie off toward Edmonton. Very light, very isolated, hit or miss in nature. So there you go. Over the next 3.5 days, dry conditions across these saturated areas across eastern Saskatchewan into central and southern Manitoba. So that is good news. It's good news we're bringing some precipitation into this region. It's good news that we're keeping things drier across the east. So here's your total precipitation as forecast by the NAM model, the 12-kilometer NAM, from Monday through midday Thursday. Highly variable totals here, generally on the lighter side, but some pockets of heavier precipitation, again, over the next 24 to 36 hours, dry as you make your way into Saskatchewan and Manitoba. We'll look at the NBM, the National Blended Model, on the left, the European model on the right, both of these still Monday through midday Thursday, June 9th. Heaviest precipitation, pockets of heavier rain with these showers across western into southern Alberta, and then possibly into far southwestern Saskatchewan. Drier conditions as you make your way to the east. The European model may be a little more aggressive with some very light showers, aggressive with the very light trace amounts of precipitation here. I think we're going to be on the drier side across this region, but the European model picking up on maybe a couple scattered light showers as we get into the middle part of the week. We'll take it through the weekend. This is the European model. You see your heavy precipitation that falls over the next 24 to 48 hours. The European model, as we get into the weekend, starting to bring some scattered showers and storms back into the region. I agree with that, and we'll take a look at that here in just a moment. Here's the upper level pattern. As we get started here, we've got very fast jet stream flow coming across the Pacific Ocean. But I mentioned we've got this pattern that's kind of blocked, kind of jammed across Canada. We've got this high over low pattern here that's kind of forcing storm systems south of that. This is a bit of a blocked up pattern. That's why we're not seeing much change. We're seeing those showers just kind of stuck across this region here, but we're not progressing the pattern across Canada. Instead, we're sending storm systems off to the south. It's been very active across the plains into the Midwest of the United States. We'll put this into motion, and we'll talk about what's going to happen as we head through the rest of the week. Again, through the next 4 or 5 days, not much going on. We remain kind of bunched up here across Canada. Storm systems diving off across the south. You see this big trough just kind of blasting the Pacific Northwest, portions of British Columbia, bringing some moisture back in here as we get into the middle and later part of the week. But we see this ridge kind of building in across the western United States, nudging into the Prairie here as we get into, your date is here on the top right. This is getting into Thursday and Friday, the end of the work week. Start to bring some warmer temperatures in. We're going to keep things on the drier side. That's, remember, when we wash the front out, the whole Prairie should enjoy a pretty mild and dry mid to late week. It's as we get into the weekend then, we're going to finally start to break down that ridge and allow some troughing to come back into the region. We've talked about ridges and troughs. Here's your trough axis. It's right on the leading edge of that trough. We see the heaviest precipitation. So as we get into the weekend, early next week, that is when we'll start to bring in a more favorable pattern for widespread shower and thunderstorm activity across the prairie. Quickly looking at those jet stream winds, I mentioned pretty strong flow coming across the Pacific Ocean right now, but that strong flow diving off to the south across the U.S. really disorganized jet stream flow as you look at the Canadian prairie. So that's why, again, the forecast not very interesting this week, not changing much this week. The jet stream really diving south of the region this week. So we'll animate this. We'll take it into the end of the week. Really similar story here. Again, the pattern, jet stream going south of the prairie, very quiet, very almost calm jet stream winds here as we head through the deeper part of the week. This is Tuesday night into Wednesday. This is getting into Wednesday and Thursday. Now getting into Thursday and Friday. This is when we start to break the pattern down. This is when we start to bring some of those faster jet stream winds back into the Canadian prairie. That gives us the support for organized shower and thunderstorm activity. Now the other part of it, we got some very dry air across the region. This is a look at precipitable water. This is saying if you're standing in place, you take a slice through the atmosphere looking straight up, how much moisture is in the atmosphere, in the column between you and the top of our atmosphere. You wring it out, how much moisture do you have? Right now we're talking about precipitable water values here around maybe a half an inch to a quarter of an inch, right in this little ribbon here across Alberta into southwestern Saskatchewan, where we have the showers. Very dry air here across the rest of the prairie. Now, as we animate this, you can kind of just see that frontal boundary, that ribbon of moisture that's kind of being squeezed up against the Rockies here, something like that. We're just wringing that moisture out. That's what gives us those isolated and scattered showers. But as we get into the middle part of the week, we really lose that. We've got some dry air in place. So we're talking dry air, no jet stream support. That's a recipe for a pretty quiet and dry week. As we get into the end of the week, into the weekend, this is Thursday, now getting into Friday, coinciding with bringing the stronger jet stream back into the region, start to draw some of that deeper moisture back into the region as well. So all of the ingredients for a much more active pattern, a much more stormy pattern across the Canadian prairie, coming into place as we get into the weekend and early next week on the other side of June 11th and 12th. So between now and Sunday, the probability of picking up 1 inch or more of total precipitation going to be highest here, where we have showers and storms ongoing across the region over the next 24 to 48 hours. Otherwise, we're talking about a pretty quiet mid to late week with showers and storms returning as we get into the weekend. We'll look then at the operational model. This will take us through the weekend. Again, early this week, showers and storms from Grand Prairie down towards southwestern Saskatchewan. Those will begin to fade as we get into Tuesday night and then into Wednesday. Here you go. We're into Wednesday. We've got dry conditions. We'll start to bring those warmer temperatures into the region. And then as we get into the later part of the week, maybe some isolated hit or miss showers and storms, but the more widespread chance for showers and storms going to be holding off until we get into the weekend and on into early next week. There you see it here. We're getting into early next week, June 11, 12, 13, and 14. Total accumulated precipitation will play the loop. You see over the next 24 to 40 hours, precipitation confined to this corridor. Getting into Wednesday, Thursday, maybe some very light shower activity mid to late week, but then as we get into the weekend, there you see the much more heavy shower and storm activity building in. So here you go, Tuesday night, Wednesday night, getting into Thursday night, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and beyond. Your temperatures over the next 5 to 7 days going to be varying, just, pretty typical springtime variance in your temperatures. We'll get started here warmer in the west, a bit cooler in the east. See those temperatures warming even more as we get into the middle and later part of the week here, Thursday and Friday, as that ridge starts to build into the region. Warmer temperatures spread across the entire prairie as we get into the weekend. But if we bring that trough in, we start to increase the shower and storm activity across the region. I wouldn't be surprised to see those temperatures tumble again just a bit as we head into next week. Not cold, of course, we're getting into June. Cooler temperatures in June, not quite the same thing as in maybe January. So here you go, your next 10 days in Calgary again. A bit cooler as we head into the middle part of the week. Those showers across the region, highs around 17 today, 15 tomorrow, getting back into the lower to mid 20s as we get into the mid to late part of the week. Same look here in Edmonton. bit warmer in Saskatoon today and tomorrow without the shower and storm activity, but even warmer as we get into the weekend. The weekend going to be the warm spot here across just about everywhere across the prairie. Those temperatures getting back into the mid to maybe the upper 20s in some places.